Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink, has just declared that South Africa's laws are racist. Why? Because they require black ownership in businesses. He claims these laws are blocking his satellite internet service, Starlink, from entering the country. The internet explodes. Headlines scream, South Africa bans Starlink. Twitter erupts with outrage. But is that really the truth? Or is this just another case of a billionaire throwing a tantrum when he doesn't get his way? This isn't a story from the pages of fiction. It's the true story of a billionaire so powerful he believes he can bend the laws of nations to his will. A story of a country standing firm, refusing to be bullied, even by one of the richest men on earth. Starlink isn't just another tech project. It's power, beamed from space. In war zones, disaster-struck areas, and remote villages where internet access is a distant dream, one name keeps popping up: Starlink. Elon Musk's audacious vision is to blanket the Earth with high-speed internet, using thousands of low-orbit satellites. From rural Africa to isolated Pacific islands, his technology promises to connect even the most forgotten corners of the world, sometimes delivering speeds that outmatch traditional fiber optic networks. But here's the problem. When one billionaire controls the satellites, who controls the truth? Each Starlink satellite, no bigger than a table, is part of a rapidly expanding constellation. As of 2025, over 5,000 of them are already circling the Earth, with tens of thousands more planned. A technological marvel? Absolutely. But also a potential monopoly in the making. And that's where the controversy begins. First, there's the cosmic traffic jam. Starlink's aggressive expansion is turning Earth's low orbit into a minefield of space debris. Scientists warn that even a single satellite collision could trigger a chain reaction, sending shrapnel hurtling through space, damaging critical satellites, and even endangering astronauts aboard the International Space Station. But that's just the start. Starlink's real power isn't in its satellites, it's in its control. Think about it. If one company owns the infrastructure that powers global internet access, who decides what gets connected and what gets cut off? This isn't a hypothetical. During the Ukraine-Russia conflict, Starlink played a pivotal role in keeping Ukraine online. But then came the unsettling question. Why did Musk have the power to decide which regions got service and which didn't? So, is Starlink a force for good, or just another tool for Musk's growing empire? The answer isn't simple. What's clear is this: Starlink isn't just about satellites, it's about control. And as South Africa's standoff with Musk shows, not everyone is willing to let him have his way. So Starlink is a big deal. And South Africa isn't saying no to Starlink. They're just saying follow the rules. And those rules are rooted in a history that Musk either doesn't understand or doesn't care to. Black economic empowerment, or BEE, isn't just a law. It's a lifeline, a response to centuries of systemic oppression that stripped Black South Africans of their land, their livelihoods, and their dignity. To understand BEE, you have to go back to apartheid, a brutal regime that enforced racial segregation and economic exclusion. Under apartheid, Black South Africans were treated as second-class citizens in their own country. Land was stolen. Through laws like the 1913 Natives Land Act, 87% of South Africa's land was reserved for the white minority. Black families were forcibly removed from their homes and dumped into overcrowded townships. Jobs were denied. Black South Africans were relegated to low-paying, menial labor. Skilled jobs and managerial positions were reserved for whites. Even education was designed to keep Black people in servitude. Businesses were controlled. The economy was dominated by a small white elite, while Black entrepreneurs were systematically shut out. This wasn't just inequality, it was economic warfare. When apartheid finally ended in 1994, Nelson Mandela and his government faced a monumental task: how to rebuild a nation shattered by decades of injustice. And that's when BEE was born. Black economic empowerment wasn't just a policy, it was a promise to correct the imbalances of the past and create a more inclusive economy. At its core, BE requires companies operating in South Africa to include black ownership and participation, 30% to be exact. It's not about handing out favors. It's about leveling the playing field. The goal? To ensure economic power isn't just held by a wealthy few, but spread across the people who were excluded for decades. And it's working. Since its introduction, BE has helped create a new generation of black entrepreneurs, executives, and professionals. It's opened doors that were once firmly shut. It's given hope to millions who were told they didn't belong. But BE isn't without its critics. Some argue it's too slow. Others say it's been hijacked by a small black elite. But here's the truth. BE isn't perfect, but it's progress. And progress takes time. So when Elon Musk calls BE racist, he's not just insulting a law. He's insulting a nation's effort to heal from its past. On March 6, 2025, Musk took to Twitter, or should we say X, and posted, "Starlink can't operate in South Africa because I'm not black." The internet went wild. His fans rallied behind him. Some called it modern apartheid. Others said, Musk is fighting for freedom. But here's what most people don't understand. South Africa is not banning Starlink. It's asking Musk to follow the same laws every other company follows. South Africa's laws apply to everyone. If Musk wants to operate there, he needs to comply. It's that simple. So why is Musk so outraged? Is it really about the law, or is it about something deeper? Elon Musk wants you to believe he's a crusader for free markets and fairness. But here's what he won't tell you. He knows exactly how to play by the rules when it benefits him. Take China, the world's biggest auto market. When Musk wanted in, he didn't throw a fit. He didn't cry discrimination. No, he did what any smart businessman does. He adapted. In 2019, Tesla poured $2 billion into its Shanghai Gigafactory. But there was a catch. China requires foreign automakers to partner with local firms. Did Musk call this unfair? Did he run to Twitter ranting about oppression? No, he shook hands, signed deals, and today, Tesla's Shanghai plant is a cash machine. Now let's talk about India. Tesla's expansion there didn't come with demands or public tantrums. Musk played the long game, negotiating through years of strict regulations and sky-high import taxes. India insisted Tesla source parts locally and invest in its infrastructure. Musk agreed. No angry tweets, no resistance. He followed the rules. And then there's Russia. Even in the face of geopolitical tensions, Musk keeps Starlink operational there. Why? Because he complies. Russia demands strict data localization, user data stored inside the country. Musk didn't call this oppressive. He didn't threaten to pull out. He obeyed. So why, when South Africa asks him to work with black-owned businesses, does he suddenly have a problem? Why does he cry foul when it's a nation still rebuilding from centuries of exclusion? Could it be that Musk only respects rules when they're enforced by the powerful? When it's China, India, or Russia, he bends, he adapts, he cooperates. But when South Africa sets terms, he lashes out, calls it modern apartheid, refuses to play by the same standards every other business follows. If South Africa weren't an African country, would Musk be fighting this hard? South Africa is not some small desperate country begging for Starlink. This is Africa's most industrialized nation, a powerhouse that drives the continent's economy. South Africa accounts for over 20% of Africa's total GDP. It's home to the most advanced financial systems on the continent, including the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the largest in Africa. It's a leader in mining, manufacturing, and agriculture, exporting billions of dollars worth of goods annually. But that's not all. South Africa is also a tech hub. Over the past decade, it has built a thriving technology sector, with startups and established companies driving innovation. Cape Town and Johannesburg are ranked among the top tech cities in Africa, attracting global investment. The country has a 98% mobile penetration rate. With over 100 million active SIM cards, South Africa doesn't need Starlink to survive. The country already has a robust internet infrastructure, with companies like Vast Networks and Liquid Intelligent Technologies investing billions into expanding connectivity. Vast Networks has laid over 10,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, bringing high-speed internet to urban and rural areas alike. Liquid Intelligent Technologies operate in over 20 African countries, providing internet services to millions. Other providers, like MTN and Vodacom, are rolling out 5G networks, ensuring South Africa stays at the cutting edge of technology. So, when Musk acts like Starlink is the only option, isn't he insulting a nation that's already building its own future? Musk has two options: follow the law, partner with a South African company, and bring Starlink to the people, or refuse, walk away, and miss out on one of Africa's biggest markets. But if there's one thing South Africa has learned in its history, it's how to stand up to billionaires, corporations, and even empires. This story isn't about Starlink. It's about power. Should billionaires get to ignore the laws of sovereign nations just because they're rich? Or should countries like South Africa have the right to decide their own economic future? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's have a real conversation. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.